Oh my god.
Sorry.
Not again.
No?
Faye, we've talked about this. Hey everyone.
Are we actually going or not?
We are going.
Yeah, we're live.
I said hello
Okay.
everyone. I'm now getting up the questions. Hey kids. What's your favorite idea?
Just
How are
watched
we?
Ree get flashbanged in real time.
What did
A
you get?
Steam pop-up just like came up on my screen. I was like, oh.
Chat, I need someone to clip that. I need that as a gift, please. Thank you.
Please. This is so off topic, but two things. One, my friends occasionally text me when they get like notifications from the server or notifications from like my like Twitch I'm live things. And one of them was when me and Tom were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was just a bunch of my friends sending our like stream message, which was just like hort, and then
I love that.
and then the one where like we were talking about Milo and the fact that she's been on her period canonically this whole time, and then one of them sent me was just like, "Come join the Discord. We're talking about Milo's period." It was so fucking funny.
No.
So rest in peace, Milo. She's been solidly going through it this
Honestly,
whole time.
If during this second quest, if during this that we come across a virgin blood sacrifice, just it's right there.
What the fuck?
God.
Should I leave?
Are you
What
calling?
did I miss?
So
Should I leave?
one,
Should I leave?
one, you're just calling Milo a virgin. Jesus Christ.
That's so fucked up.
How could you? It's probably true, but come on now.
Oh, damn. We are
Here.
Damn. That's
She's not here.
Defend herself.
Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back to another after show where we're talking about, we're explaining session 6 to Ray. I like the idea that we won't exactly explain what happened, we'll just kind of give clues as we answer questions, and I think
Honestly,
that's
kind of
beautiful.
prefer that. I'm a big escape room girly. This is fun for me.
Here's a solid one to start us off. Theo and Ash, or those who are available, what was going through your minds as Jezebel was confronting her father, both before you walked away and after you walked away?
fuck. Yeah,
Oh,
truly.
Shit. Well, I didn't know that was Jezebel's father, and I was talking some mad game. I almost got smited.
To be fair, you weren't meant to know for a significant amount of time.
Yeah,
That was... And the funniest part is, like, looking back, I had done so many things incorrectly to get to that point. By the way, it shouldn't have happened to such an extent, but now we just have to commit to the bit and now pretend that he just canonically decided to do it for the bit. Because for his wisdom saving throw, I had used his wisdom score, not his wisdom saving throw. His wisdom saving throw is a plus 18.
Yeah.
what?
Your DC is 16.
insane.
He's a god, and he's the god of madness. Of course he does. Plus he had 3 legendary resistances, which would have been auto successes. There is no way. Just to begin with, on planet Earth, he couldn't have beaten us unless he rolled 2 nat 1s. That's what needed to happen for this to happen. However, it happened and I realized, and I just decided, fuck it. Him rolling really bad for wisdom was him not listening to his conscience and going, wouldn't it be funny? What if
That would actually be.
What if
That's
I
actually
just...
kind of
Anyways, he did it for the bit.
Yeah, but I kind of played a big card on myself that I wouldn't have if I realized it was Jezebel's dad.
I thought Theo didn't mind mouthing off to the gods.
That wasn't the card I was talking about, but that's a whole nother podcast. But what about you guys? I was like, oh shit.
Dude, just if I had a nickel for every time we ran into a god.
It's
Have
happened way more
a
than I
lot.
thought it would. I think it's because you guys have been rolling really well, and I wasn't
know what that's like.
expecting that.
I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's more the people who are. Like, when with the Hermes thing happened, and you were like, oh, I rolled like a 22. I was like, motherfucker, because I every time it happens, I roll, and I decide on a DC, and then you do it. Anyways.
What a close one. Coming in clutch. But I'm glad that after we left, I'm glad we didn't repeat the past. I had a graceful exit, so the
You're
child
lucky
could
I
talk to
didn't
their
just
parents.
kill Dionysus
We're
as
like-
soon as he appeared.
Like, you know what? Let's not fuck this up this time.
I mean, like, in
Gently
all
to-
fairness, I feel like it's not super easy to kill a god. It's just that Hephaestus was made mortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I.
It's quite
like,
difficult, actually.
I think I like texted as much to Justin of like, oh, are you on Kaya's side? And I was like, number one, it's just kind of like, wow, kind of half impressed that you killed a god, and then if you manage to kill a full-blooded god, hell, let me in maybe on the secret.
You would want to kill your dad?
I'm not saying that, but if you could threaten your dad at knife point, wouldn't you? I'm speaking to Theo.
Wouldn't you just a little bit?
I don't know. I don't think
Don't you
Theo
wanna go
would.
apeshit?
Well,
Don't you
Theo doesn't yet know what has occurred in the night.
I don't? What am I forgetting? Oh god. What did I
The
forget?
very end of the session.
When Ash talked to your dad.
Hey,
yes.
hey,
Well,
hey,
talked at
your
your dad.
homunculus is back online now, by the way.
It
That happened.
is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How?
I don't
Almost
know.
like one of your infusions isn't required anymore.
That doesn't put my homunculus back on.
Listen, I
have
wanted to
actively do it.
give a visual cue and make it look cool. Give me a fucking break.
I'm like, this is something that requires my actual.
You can
doing
mess
it.
around with your shit. It was more so that like when Ash had was begging to give Theo a break, and then I said, you don't hear anything, but you see a little mechanical sparrow activate on Monique's
Oh,
shoulder,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then
Yeah,
and then
that's a
Ash
cool
went,
visual cue, yeah.
"Ugh." Yeah, because I thought it'd be cute.
I would. My instant. I
It's
want
for
you
the
to know,
flavor.
My instant thought was, who the fuck's been touching my shit? Who's been
Hermes.
touching my shit?
Hermes has
God,
been
sorry.
touching your
Hermes.
shit.
Hermes has been touching your shit, which honestly, not surprising.
Did every
Honestly, Artificers was like so much like, don't fucking touch my shit.
Shit, you'll break
I don't have that, but you've got your powers, you've got your skills. I have my shit. Don't fucking touch it.
I think it's like with wizards, they're like, I know no one's gonna touch my shit because none of them know what the fuck it is. But with artificers, it's a little bit like people are like, oh, building.
No one knows what it is, but it's like a fucking.
It looks
forbidden
like a
Lego
wrench
box for
in it.
neurodivergence. That's what it is.
it.
That's what it is. It's the forbidden Lego blocks for neurodivergent.
Before we move on, Ash, what was going through Ash's head as Jezebel was confronting her father?
Well, I kind of said before, but yeah, it was just that thing of just like, oh shit, yet another god. Oh, this is, well, you know.
Be your
Jezebel can be a
expressions
little bit unhinged
through that
sometimes.
thing
This
was
is where
so
it comes
funny.
from. So this is Jezebel times 10. This, okay. Be careful what we say, because he might go, wouldn't it be funny to just make you insane? That would be kind of cool.
I loved it. He's like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. He's like, you're not, but I can if you want me to. Just like, no.
You just want to go ape shit?
I remember like thinking back, like what was Jezebel thinking? And the funniness of it is that she was almost praying that he wouldn't recognize her as his daughter, so that she could just pretend she hadn't met him.
Nah, he knows who you are. He gave you special powers as an experiment.
Yeah.
Also, I decided on it a while ago where I just went, okay, well, Dionysus is also a god that is known for not cheating on his wife. So why the fuck does he have so many kids? And I was like, because it wasn't cheating. They just got crazy in the 80s. Plus, I love the...
Yeah.
He's literally... He, as a god, one of his, like, methods of, like, praying is orgies. Like, of course, he was just in a lot of threesomes. And probably more than that. But, also, this is off topic. Did you guys, especially Justin, did you guys listen to the song that was playing in the restaurant? I know B did, because I made them.
You did.
It's
You
a
did. You
classic
went, you're not allowed to
American
leave this
staple.
call
Oh,
until
yeah.
you listen to it.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't already listened to it, I would have been concerned. It's a great song. I fucking love that
Don't
song.
cite the text of Billy Joel to me.
I was there when it was written.
I've been
She
trapped
is.
in many a car with my
That's
mother.
actually one of your questions, Tara. How about I'll ask that now. How would Jezebel feel about meeting Ariadne?
Oh. Like the Weaver?
No, that's Arachne.
No, that's Arachne.
Arachne.
Sorry.
Ariadne is Dionysus'
has
wife.
the-
She led Theseus through the labyrinth and then was left on an island by him. I love Ariadne is my girl. I would stab Theseus in an alley. Fuck that man. I'll kill him.
Yeah, I think Jezebel would get have absolutely no beef or qualm with Ariadne and just be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if we're going to get technical, my stepmother?
She is your She's your stepmom.
Yeah, she's cool. She
Ariadne's
knit me
chill.
a sweater. She knit me a sweater one time. I still have no idea what the design is. I get a headache looking at the front of it. It's beautiful.
Occasionally, Jezebel just gets a newspaper and does, like, the kids' like mazes in the back, and she's like, shout out to my girl. Because she is a goddess. She's the goddess of labyrinths and mazes. Love her. She's the best. Random, but if I would, as a book recommendation, it's only like 300 pages, and it's a really good book. I enjoyed it. It's Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. Is an awesome novel. I would recommend it.
I have that on my shelf. I should read it.
It's fantastic. Also, like, it's beautifully written, but not difficultly so. Like, it's pretty... I read it in a sitting. I was just at uni, and I just read the whole thing. It's really great. And will make you hate Theseus so fucking much. Anyways. For me, was the volcano quest a spontaneous decision, or was it planned? Yes and no. It was planned. It was... As soon as they said we're going to Mount Etna, I was like, that's a great idea. I have to figure out what the fuck is there when they get there. And then I hadn't decided when you guys were doing the planning session. And then I was driving and I went, oh, that's good. Because I didn't want you guys to get there and for me to be like, there's nothing, you've wasted your time. Because that's mean. So... kind of. It was spontaneous as in it wasn't length planned, but it was funny because I remember Justin saying to me, be like, how off topic did we go? Like, we went wild this session, and I was like, no, you guys got through everything that I had planned. This was one of those sessions where, like, I had planned basically all of it. As much as I can plan, as much as me, Maddie, can plan, which is not that much. But yeah, you just make it work.
Yeah, it was one of those sessions where it felt like we went off the rails and did a bunch of crazy shit, but like, actually, the rails were being placed in front of us the whole time.
The rails were crazy. I'm just crazy. Really, my goal with that session was I haven't really had any like funny little guy NPCs yet, and they're my brand. So I was like, I'm just going to put 2 satyrs in there that have New Jersey accents, but also one of them will be secretly Dionysus, and they might be reoccurring NPCs as little guys until right at the end it's revealed that he was Dionysus the whole time. Anyways, I keep
we
thinking, like,
so we
if,
speed ran
if
that.
I had known, would I have not done it? I don't regret doing it because it was such a funny moment and I enjoyed it so much. I don't know, we'll see. There's, like, plenty of other twists. You'll be fine. Party. How is the party processing the death of a god? Do they feel more vulnerable? Do they sense a sense of disconnect? Are they questioning power dynamics?
I think Jezebel is definitely rethinking power dynamics.
And whether she can kill a god.
A little bit of like, I mean, is it really that hard? I mean, everyone made it sound impossible, but like,
We just watched it happen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There were
Ashley?
some significant weights put on that god's wrists.
Definitely for Ash, it's kind of a mix. It is that thing of just like, gods are supposed to be these like immortal beings that literally can't be slain, but we just watched it happen. That's, okay, that's something to think about. Maybe this idea that Kai has isn't so crazy. Maybe she could actually do it. Because like before, you think a mortal being like, I'm going to kill all of the gods. You're like, oh, you give it 5 minutes, you'll get smited. Like, no, you got no chance. Now it's like, okay, 11 more to go. All right, that's concerning. So it's that, and then mixed with guilt, I think, as well. It's definitely some guilt there.
I think, well, technically there's still 12 because it was always the classic thing of there's technically 13 gods that are considered the Olympians.
Yeah.
So it's just that Dionysus and Hestia aren't fighting over it anymore. They're now both Olympians.
That's fair.
Honestly, Monique has no fear for other gods. She very much blames the death of Hephaestus on Zeus and him crippling him further.
Yeah.
And she's very much just like, this wouldn't have happened if you hadn't literally put him in such a vulnerable position. Like, you literally, he is already lame in a leg, like, and he already has difficulties with his body, which is crazy for a god. And you decided, you know what? I'm gonna just make it worse. Let me just make it worse. And that's how Monique views it. Absolutely. She's like, this isn't someone who can go around smiting Zeus himself. This isn't someone who could, like, Kaya is very much just more powerful than us, but like she doesn't think Kaya is more powerful than a god. She's very much like, she took Hephaestus by surprise. She took him while he was vulnerable. And then she's very much like, she doesn't fear for the safety of the other gods. She fears the fallout from this and whether her father will get like the apology he's owed in that sense, because she's like, yeah, he owes an apology, most likely, but like he's owed one massively. So that's how she views it.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, Rostivils, I get you, but Hades is technically not one of the 12 Olympians because he doesn't live on Olympus. He lives in the underworld. Then again, that kind of doesn't make sense because technically Poseidon doesn't live on Olympus either. Well, he technically
He's
does.
kind of still on the...
What?
He's still
like,
on
does he live in his beach house?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
Olympus and the material plane, sort of like that Earth, that's all the...
And, like,
kind of
Hera's
thing.
still an Olympian, but she's, like, the goddess of Elysium. It's just, Hades is different.
He's just built different.
He's just built different. He's just a cool kid. Blasphemy. You're falling behind. If only there was a place where I could watch the old sessions. YouTube. Oh, also, sorry, this is off topic, but I think it's important. Hey everyone, for those, you guys should donate to the Chaban family. This note that I've written is actually out of date. I do need to update it before next session. But really good news if you guys hadn't heard, which is that the Anas's mother, who had the brain tumor, her and her second daughter did manage to make it out of Gaza and into Egypt before the borders closed. I finally got in contact with them, and they are now using the money raised in order to save for the surgery and also pay for very expensive rent. But the rest of the family is still in Gaza, so please donate if you can, so we can reunite this family and also save his mother's life because she is not doing very well. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, YouTube. It's a fun time.
YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/Madaloon. Link going in chat now. Maddie, do the thing. Maddie, do the thing.
Oh god, I know.
Maddie,
Social
This is so
thing.
stressful.
There it is.
Yeah.
Anyways,
There you
This is such a stressful after show.
Jezebel, after finally receiving the unwanted attention and quest of your dearest papa, what is going to be your approach in completing the task at hand? Transactional and strictly business, or will you attempt to remove your worth/abilities or some other option?
Well, the way he phrased it was partly just like put on a good show. And so the thing is that Jezebel would then want to put on a show that would piss him off. So, gotta start brainstorming of like, how do I fuck up this quest? How do I fuck up this quest, but also not fuck up the quest?
Yeah, if anything, it wasn't so much that he wanted to give you a quest, he was just saving his own ass.
Yeah. So I do want
Yeah.
to fuck him up.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was one of the things that I didn't plan was definitely Dionysus as a character. Period. Like I had a really rough idea in my head simply because I didn't think I was gonna play him, and then I had to. I was happy with what I did because I knew from the beginning I wanted him to be frustratingly in the middle between good and bad of like he's just kind of he's such an omnipotent god, like he's such a god to like a frustrating level. Like I wanted him to be not like a complete dick so it's like incredibly easy to hate him because you're like, oh, he's terrible because he does these terrible things to me and he says awful shit. You can still hate him, by the way, because he's still a dick.
Yeah.
But it was more so the like, I haven't necessarily done anything wrong and I'm giving you reasons as to why I didn't do this. Anyways, I don't hate you and I'm not going to do anything to stop you, and you're my kid and I'm acknowledging that. But also, I'm kind of a dick. I just love the line, I haven't really been watching you because you haven't given me anything worth watching, so don't be mad at me, X.
That's so fucked.
That's so brutal.
He's such a dick.
Yeah.
Literally the worst.
Not malicious, just attached. Yeah, he is the epitome of how can you hate me? I wasn't even there.
Yeah, there's definitely a part that like was so very much like I like not wanting to ever talk to him because the two options that she thought was the most likely was that he just didn't care, or that he would pretend to care and like act like he like that to just want something. So I suppose it was kind of just a combination of the two of like he didn't really care because I wasn't like being interesting to him or being entertaining with like madness, and that he wanted something from me because he had to cover his own ass. Fun stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of like, because I think I was telling the others this. I can't remember if you were there when I was talking about this, about how he kind of sees how the other gods treat their demigods and treat their heroes, and he's like looking at that almost like that's the blueprint. And he's like, okay, well, they give them stuff, they kind of protect them sometimes, but then he was like, well, she's just on the island, she doesn't need protecting, she's just there, so like, I don't know, I guess I'll just wait until she leaves the island. And then she left the island and he's like, okay,
it does seem like a pair. It does seem like a pair that's like Jezebel is going to call her dad by the first name of like, hey Dionysus.
Stepdad energy. Treat him like a stepdad. Fair enough. Party, how does your character feel about quests, or life outside of camp after experiencing so much raw trauma? How are you? TLDR, how are you?
Theo is in heaven right now. Great. It's no, well, it's just that he has a purpose now. He has been waiting for a second chance forever, so he is ready to prove himself. He's ready to do something meaningful or like to change people's minds. I think he's very eager to do so. Not that it's a good thing, but
that was something I was wondering. Is he excited to be perceived as the hero? Like, is that one of the reasons he's doing the things he's doing?
oh,
Is he wanting the parades when he returns? Is he wanting what Shannon and Cressida have?
I don't think he cares about the crowds. I think he cares about just one person's opinion, two people's opinion.
So it's a little bit of hubris, a sprinkle.
No, I don't care about like the showers of adulation. I care about like a couple people's opinion. Then I hope they change about me. You know.
Fair enough. Anyone else?
Oh man. Life outside of camp. I mean, yeah, this is the first time in 6 years that Ash has been outside of camp. So like, it's a bit of back and forth because like, as soon as they're not in the middle of awful things happening to them, Ash is like, wow, this is great. You know, it's like seeing Athens and like going on a great adventure and like seeing all these like cool places and just like seeing stuff that's not the same island I've been looking at for 6 years. This is great. You know, I miss being out here a little bit, and then something traumatizing will happen, and it's like, oh, why does everything suck out here?
I remember
Sucks.
why we had that island. I mean, Jezebel's in the same boat, isn't she? Like, we don't hear it as much, but Jezebel also hasn't left the island since she arrived.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And was half like content with that because it's like, yeah, this is what I know and it's familiar, but also like Jezebel was getting very, very bored on the island. So it's very fun to now be like out in the world and have kind of has that thing of like everyone on the island kind of knows what to expect from Jezebel now. And now she's like, I'm in the wild and there's strangers and they don't know me. I'm going to
They
I'm
don't
going to
know
walk
what
up
I
and
got.
shake their hand.
It's my penis. It's my vagina. It's my mangina. I'm old Gret. Is that a reference no one else understands?
I do not understand that reference.
Oh my god. It's
Not
from
at
the
all.
same show that did the I'm the Midnight Barber.
Yeah, okay.
Greg.
Okay.
I'll
This
send it to you
sounded
guys.
like
I
it.
know
Is that a
it. I
British
know it
thing?
off
Is that
by
an
heart.
Australian
It
Yeah.
is.
What's the
yeah.
show
Yeah.
called?
Oh, Boosh?
Oh god.
Yeah,
it's
the
got
Mighty
Noel
Boosh.
Fielding in
Have no
it, and
idea.
yeah.
That one.
You're
Yeah, it's from
Europeans,
that.
man.
Old Greg. Yeah.
Old
You
Greg.
got it? Thanks, Tara. You and me, babes. We yeah, fair enough.
Incredible. Yeah, just real old Greg energy. But also like a little bit of hesitancy to even go back to Ayaya at the end of this as well. Of like, I don't know if I want to go back. Maybe I'll go and visit my mom or something.
Yeah, that was another question I was going to ask. If the original quest had gone well and you guys had finished, would you be happy to go home?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Probably.
It would
Like-
depend how the quests end.
Yeah, whether
Yeah,
they would have
like,
seemed
if-
higher or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would have
For Ash,
thought.
it's very dependent.
Interesting.
I think Monique's would be like if she got to allow her, like if her father like was no longer made mortal and stuff, yada yada, and that was all fixed. She'd be like, "Yep, happy, all done, great."
If her father was mortal, do you think she would have like stayed with him as a bodyguard of sorts?
Probably.
That's sweet.
Yeah, probably.
Cute. Does anyone else have any answers for this question? Are you satisfied? Oh, sorry. How does your character feel about the quest and life camp outside since the trauma? Basically, what do they think
Quest.
of the outside world now?
Theo is in love with the outside world. It's incredible. Love to travel. Love to see the sights. Love to meet the people. How do I feel about the quest itself? Feels like Theo would think that he's failing, especially after the events of the last episode. You know, it's like we can't just catch our fucking break, can we?
Nope.
We can't.
A goat can't be a goat in this world.
I try to do one good deed, and then get wrapped up.
Yup.
I think kind of similarly to that, but Jezebel would be very much like, okay, now we can travel at a nice pace. We don't have to be rushing around every temple. We can actually take a turnabout, maybe get a churro or something on our way.
Yeah, nah, not anymore.
No.
Why'd you
Yeah.
laugh like that?
Because it's funny. That is
It's Dionysus laughing at us again.
I just did that as like a funny laugh. I
Wise
realized
guy.
later that it sounded like a goat noise, and I thought that was so funny.
You and me.
Wise guy.
guy.
Yeah, because I was like, how do I keep him talking in the voice when you're reading his surface thoughts? So I was like, oh, he's just gonna like think about how funny the voice is to say, and that's why he'll keep talking in the voice. Is him being like, I liked saying it like that, wise guy. And yeah, that was my go around. But I think the main two differences between Camp Half-Blood and Ayaya is like one of the main two reasons why it is a little bit worse and is more pressure on the kids is most of them don't go back to their families. It's way more common to not, unlike Camp Half-Blood where you're just there for the summer. In Ayaya, you are there most of the time and you go back to your family for the summer if you can. Otherwise you stay. And also they don't have the summer solstice check-in when they can talk to their parents. That doesn't exist. So I was like, I'm gonna make this worse. But yeah, you can go back. There are like the ferries will take you back to your family for the summer, but most of the time, because it is infinitely more dangerous in Europe than it is in America, most people don't. They'll have one scare with their family where they think they're going to get their family killed and then they just won't go back.
Yeah.
It's very common. Do you feel that barriers between characters are going up or coming down as the campaign unfolds?
Oh.
Depends on the character.
Yeah.
I feel like
depends-
it's like a switch thing, like there's an up and a down, like it's like people are alternating.
Perhaps a
Well-
roll of the dice, if you will.
Perhaps.
Does anyone have any like significant ones of someone they've opened up to significantly or someone they've really closed up to compared to how they were?
I feel like with the spot of death that happened with Jezebel and the
Oh yeah,
fear that she inflicted
the
on
words
Ash.
of terror.
Yeah. I feel like
Hmm.
that there's a bit of a barrier up
It's
there.
a little bit, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the only one, because I don't think anyone's really tried to get to Jezebel, so there hasn't been much opportunity to be
So
like,
far.
so far.
I think
What? You gonna talk to me about my dad now?
Yeah.
birthday race.
Hey, buddy, how you feel about your
You-
dad?
You sick son of a bitch.
Welcome, welcome, Raiders.
Hey,
Hello.
what up,
Happy
dude?
birthday to whoever's birthday it is.
Whose
Oh
birthday
my
is it?
god. Now
It's
we all
someone's
have to
birthday.
sing happy birthday
Oh no.
in our different
Oh
time
no.
zones.
Bon
1,
anniversaire
2,
à toi.
3. Happy birthday to
Oh wait, when you said time zones, I
Happy
thought we were
so out of
birthday
sync.
to
okay.
you.
Happy
Happy birthday
to you, whoever it is.
you. Happy birthday to you.
How
I
bad
also
was
tried
it?
to do a jazzy version too. Well, it
You
was
did,
just
you
the two of
got-
us,
yeah.
so we were
Oh,
pretty
nice.
good.
I think Riverside's a bit better than Discord. Discord's very bad for it.
Ah, yeah.
Bon anniversaire à toi. That's all I remember. Anyways, I would say like the one friendship that didn't exist before that has bloomed would probably be Ash and Monique. I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Who'd have thought that your sibling killing their dad would make you guys friends? Ain't that crazy?
Shared trauma.
If I had a nickel for every time, I'd have one nickel.
But Monique doesn't view Ash as a friend yet.
I mean, yeah, you know.
More so
Monique-
that they've
Monique
gotten
views-
closer. They have a
Yeah.
Yeah,
relationship of sorts.
they're closer, but Monique's very much just like Monique doesn't view Ash as an adult.
Oh shit!
Y'all are
God damn.
coworkers.
Hey, listen.
Fair.
Hey, listen. Ash is
Mon-
like what, 20?
Coworkers.
Fair.
Mm.
20.
Fair.
Mon is very much just like this is someone who is like, for her, Ash is someone that she's grown closer to, very much in the sense she is not going to lean on Ash, but she will allow Ash to lean on her.
Right.
That's
yeah, yeah.
that's
No, that makes
how
sense.
she views that relationship in that sense.
That makes sense.
I think closeness wise, the person that Mon is now closest to is Theo.
Mm.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking of that.
I never would have
Theo-
guessed that.
Theo went through a similar experience to her that
Mm.
literally traumatized her and kept her on the island.
Mm.
That's
Mhm.
very,
And
very
he's-
true.
He's the only one who she feels like she can have like harsh, blunt words with, who will return them.
To a French
then
woman,
they'll move
that
on and,
means
like-
a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you don't think you're close, it's because she's French. But she thinks you guys are best fucking friends. It's like when you're
No.
talking to Lae'zel and she's being mean to you, and then she's like, "We are so close," and you're like, "Are
Connection
we?"
up. Yeah.
No, I think I think there is an emotional honesty
Mm.
between Monique and Theo.
An
But Theo
understanding
views
almost.
that as like, oh wait, you saw me. Oh fuck, no. Wait, hold
Mhm.
on.
She's like, you did not want to be seen. Why did you say it like that, huh?
Exactly. There is like a weird amount of emotional honesty that he's surprised, that Justin is surprised that happened with, you know. As far as walls going up, Jezebel, mile high now. Mile
boy.
high. You betrayed
Mhm.
me.
Because that was my dad?
No.
With the
Oh,
water.
because of
We're
the
getting
wine.
into the wine.
But you don't know that was
Yeah,
me.
Theo doesn't know
Yeah.
it was Jessica.
Has to be like the amount of devastation.
I was
that-
going to add to the
Holy-
joke.
I know.
Kiki
No,
gave
no.
me such a
You
good
hadn't-
idea.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God.
hadn't
Ree,
said
were you
anything,
there?
so I
Were
was
you
like,
there
I'm just
when
rolling
that
with
happened?
this.
Oh.
Holy shit! I was
Whoa.
Justin was floored. Okay,
Yeah.
I had this one chance to well,
Well,
spoilers to get some answers about some backstory shit.
yeah.
Like wanted to trade in a bottle of wine, and guess who turned that bottle of wine into water without me?
Hey.
I have
Hey.
no idea. Hand to one
Jezebel.
of the gods.
Jezebel
I swear
does
to
have
God.
some answers. You just haven't heard them yet.
Mm.
Ooh, ooh,
Who knows what
yeah.
happened in that vineyard?
Who knows?
Anything
Who
could have happened.
knows? Who
knows?
knows?
Who knows?
Devastating.
Yeah, I think-
devastated.
Because you guys all came in with at least every single one of you had a like pre-discussed connection to another character.
Yeah.
I think definitely like Monique like gaining new connections and making them work is definitely a lot to do with the fact that like Tessa isn't around anymore, who was the
Mm.
person who Monique was the closest to. Like they were
Mm.
friends.
Mm.
New friends. No, actually,
Yeah.
it had happened like 2 years ago, so you guys were friends now.
They were friends at this point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but so it's almost like Monique has kind of been forced to get closer to the other people because she doesn't have her person.
It's like
Yeah.
when your work bestie quits and then suddenly you have to become friends with your 20-year-old work like coworker.
legit.
And it's like, "Oh, what's your life like?"
Yeah, because
Damn, that's crazy.
I think Tessa was like 24, but she'd also just like she was an old soul, so I think she kind of she matched
Yeah.
Monique's energy a little better. Anyways.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
Not
like,
saying in
she's one of-
past tense like she's dead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
She
it's
is
like
in the underworld.
That's true.
it's like she's like those people where they've like they're married, they have a mortgage, they have this, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm 23, and you're like, what? Like that was how Monique
Yeah.
very much viewed Tessa. Like Tessa had like a lot of things going, like, and a lot of like already like emotional maturity. So when she was like, oh yeah, I'm only 24, Monique's like,
What do you mean?
Quoi?
Quoi?
No.
That's one of my favorite words in French is quoi. And also, my
Quoi?
number one will always be bouf. Because it's so fun
Bouf.
to say bouf.
Bouf.
I'm a big alors. Stellar.
Yes.
Stellar.
Yeah. It's so good.
My nonna would say it constantly. You'd say something, she's stellar. And then like my Italian nonna on the other side of the room just like Dio 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 Dio. Like we just say God 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 all over, like Dio 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 Dio. Just like on repeat.
Yeah, I want to apologize for my Italian and Italian accents the entirety of last session to anyone from that country. I'm so sorry. It was kind
My
of
favorite
Spanish
thing
the
was
whole
seeing
time.
another. It was.
It
but
was
like my
Spanish
favorite
the
thing
whole time.
was seeing another Italian come in, and I was like, "Yeah, there's two of us."
I think I apologize. Like someone said, like, "Oh yeah, my family is from Sicily," and I immediately in the
Yeah.
chat went, "I just want to apologize for anything that I say," because I had so many Italian friends growing up because Australia has a massive Italian population. So like the Italian that I knew was because of them and going to their like family houses for dinner, in which I would need to be rolled out the door. But I just remember once they gave me pasta and I was like, lit, dinner's finished, and then they put a schnitzel in front of me and was just like, there you go. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing to me? What do you mean? But yeah, that's where I got all of that from. So really all I know is the Australian Italian accent, which is kind of like the like how the Italian American accent is kind of like the New Jersey accent. We have our own. So that's what I know, not like the Italian accent. So the only time I kind of sounded Italian was when I was trying to speak Italian, and then the words that would follow that, my trigger word became vulcano, which is Italian for volcano, because for some reason when every time I said that I was like, this is it. Because I was like, I don't want to keep just saying at the end of every sentence because it feels lazy, but that's what you need to do.
I've honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Maddie messaged me about subtitling. I get this message, and for me, the message came at 5:30 in the morning, going like, "I've got a question. You know when you do that at the end of your French accent, how would you caption that?"
Yeah.
And like just gave me examples of like, Amis doesn't like other kids playing with his toys. Like, and then it said and I was like, I don't even know. I feel like it's just a
Confused
slow
French noises.
release.
Yeah, because it kept being written in the captions, and because usually it would be the same thing. So I was like, oh, I can highlight this, change it, and it would change it for all of them. But and then I ended up messaging my friend who is fluent in French because his family is French, and just went like, oh, how would you do it? And he said, oh, it's written EUH, sorry. And said like, that's just the universal way to write the noises that French people make. And I went, okay, cool, got it.
But that was the thing, because I was like, it's just like a French noise.
It's the French
just
noise. Yeah.
It's just the elongated end of a word.
This friend pisses me off. So he's Indian French born, but he lives in Hong Kong. So he speaks English, Cantonese, Mandarin, Hindi, and French fluently.
Damn.
I hate this man. Pick a struggle, motherfucker.
I can't even
Christ.
speak English fluently.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
My housemate Hulda, a Hobbit's Tale for people who don't know.
Love
She's
her.
Icelandic Albanian who lived in Norway and was like moved to England. she brought a Swedish friend round the other day who she met at work, started speaking in Swedish, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
"Yet you don't know how to empty the vacuum cleaner?"
So many people I know who are
Wow,
like
jeez.
know so many languages, and they're kind of like the dumbest people you've ever met, and you're like, I know where the brain cells went. They're holding
The
on to
brain
those
cells are
languages.
constantly translating everything.
Yeah.
I have like a friend who's Greek who gave me some of the like Greek words that I then butchered. And I remember we were talking about like kids, and I was like, George, I swear to God, if you don't teach your kids Greek, I will personally go to your house and kill you. Like, you have to. And he's like, I barely know Greek, and I was like, send them to Greek school. Like, you have to have them learn a second language.
I'm forever upset that my mom and dad did not actually teach me German because both of them know German fluently. And even more upset that my dad did not teach me any other languages that he know, which include Latin, Greek, Hebrew, Afrikaans, Zulu, and German, and a little bit of Dutch. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. My parents had nothing to bring to the table. I don't blame them. The Scottish Irish, in which like neither of their families spoke like Irish or like Gaelic or anything like that. Yeah, nothing here, Your Honor. Nothing.
I suppose the slight accolade I can give is that my dad did teach me how to read like the phrasing of German words, so I can look at a German word and know how to pronounce it and know how it's supposed to sound. So that does kind of help with like
German
being
is
able to
German is a
sound
very
German.
difficult language to learn, for sure, because there's just so
Yeah.
many different ways to do everything depending on the sentence structure. It's insane. Anyways, if you had one, what was your alternative character concept for this game?
Oh,
You don't have
I
to
did
give
have
too
one.
much detail, because like I don't know if
What
like
if we
it's
die?
if it's an alternative in the way that it's like your backup.
Oh
You
no,
don't
this
like
one
I
I
don't
have a
think you
backup
guys
now.
will need backups. I hope
No.
you don't, but yeah.
Mine, I've came to the table with two. I was like, I'm either gonna be a
I remember,
Hephaestus
yeah.
artificer, or I'm gonna be an Eros gunslinger. And I was like, I'm gonna just have a gun. Like, I'm gonna be an
Where you
Eros
like your
kid with a
guns?
gun.
It'll be like the Harley
Um,
Quinn one that says like love and hate.
I want it to. I would want it to have like a little love heart, like little barrel.
Fuck yeah.
Like, it would be the
Fuck
most
yes.
stupid, like non-aerodynamic shit, but like, she would always fire true, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would want. And then like, if they would be like, you can't have guns in Europe, and then I'd be like, it's a crossbow. Can't have that either. You need a license for that too. Can't win
Damn.
anywhere.
Dang,
But
okay.
yeah, and then I was like, as soon as Maddie was like, hey, you can homebrew some stuff, I was like, never mind.
Gotcha. I was toying with the idea of a a child of a god that has nothing to do with their godly parent, and they're just like the most opposite like black sheep you can think of. So the idea was like, what if there was a son or daughter of Aphrodite, but they're a monk and they're just a boxer. They're a fighter, not
They're
a
my
lover.
favorite.
I
love
had
that.
something similar to that, but I had the
What?
idea of like doing a child of Aphrodite who was goth and just a hot goth.
Oh yes! Oh my god!
Hell yeah.
Just kind of a Wednesday Addams
Slay.
type gal.
Holy
But
shit,
like
that'd be
the
so-
idea was like maybe like this like Russian boxer guy who's trying to learn how to love, you know, put the fist down.
But
you
isn't
know?
that so perfect for an Aphrodite kid? Because
Aw.
Aphrodite is the goddess of love and war.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my secondary concept if Theo didn't get approved, but we'll see if I die.
I think the backup idea I had, if I wasn't gonna play a Nemesis kid, I think I was actually gonna be, a Forge cleric. So I think I was gonna be a Hephaestus kid. So Rhea and I could have been siblings.
Oh my god.
That was my idea because I do love my Forge clerics.
Forge clerics.
but
I have stolen a bunch of shit from Forge clerics for this homebrew. I just made it better, but
yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
I think really Hephaestus, your kid is the combination between artillerist and forge cleric. Really is.
yeah, pretty much. It's like I've
Forge cleric.
taken parts
Sorry,
of Forge.
artillerist was the base because she's
Artillerist was
technically
the
an
base.
artificer.
She's big artificer. I took artillerist. I took battle master, and then I took forge cleric, and I went.
Because I think
Yes.
on like D&D
Yes.
Beyond, she is like a whole class, right?
Yeah, I just haven't finished it, so
Yeah.
don't look too deep into that.
Like me as who I am, I definitely see your class as a subclass of artificer. That is just a subclass of artificer, just a
Oh
different
yeah,
one.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just took like features from forge cleric, like
Yeah, because it really is an artificer build, but different. The base.
It's literally it's a full artificer build. Yeah, like so I've made it like a full support class build. Like there's very little like a damage output or high damage output. It's more sustainability and
It's
such.
armorer meets forge cleric with mostly like artillerist. Because it's Buffy artillerist, really.
Yeah, it's basically the whole premise of it was I wanted a support class that gave buffs and debuffs out because I was really inspired by the alchemist artificer subclass because the alchemist one with potions and such they barely do anything in a fight. In a fight, they are very backline. They are very much like if you've prepared before this combat, you're good. If you haven't, do what you can, buddy.
Hey, listen, they still have spells.
Well, exactly, yeah, but
everyone
it's very
forgets
much like
that artificers have spells, and it's so funny to me.
But the thing is, they don't have many, and an alchemist artificer doesn't have much to offer other than if they're doing like healing spells, they get to like at some level they get to like double their healing and stuff and that sort of thing. But their whole thing is how well can you prep before this combat? How well can you prep before any sort of situation and stuff like the potions you give out? So I was like, oh, it'd be very cool if I had that aspect of preparedness, but I could do it during combat. And so that's why I was like, yeah, the portable forge. Let's go.
I had said before that like if I was playing I would have played Sasha, but one other character idea that I had that I probably would have, if any of you guys really wanted to play a big three, would be like a concept that I was going to offer to be like, oh, this is kind of how you could swing it, is I had a character. Her name was Thea, I remember. And she was Australian because I wanted it to be the bit that she went to this island and everyone's like, why the fuck are you here? And it's like Eurovision. Like, why the fuck is Australia here? Okay. She was a daughter of Zeus. But no one knew that because she'd never been claimed. But she knows that. And she was born on the same day as Heracles. And that was seen as a prophecy, so she was given Heracles' powers. By the way, this was in like a lit RPG. I probably wouldn't do this because it's just too OP. But she was given Heracles' powers, and then it had accidentally killed someone, and then vowed to never use her powers again, and therefore had like failed Zeus and had never been claimed by him. So the idea that like she was like didn't live up to her potential, like big three person, was kind of the way we were going to go with it. Also, the idea of having like a kid of Ares who's a pacifist, who's just sworn off violence, would be really interesting. Of like a paladin and just
Peace cleric of Ares.
Peace cleric of Ares would go crazy.
Fuck yeah.
How much we've already answered this one. What unconfirmed headcanons or theories do you as a player have about any of the other characters from the campaign so far, PCs or NPCs? Headcanons or theories? Just random out-of-pocket shit.
This is a very difficult question.
Yeah. If you guys
Because it
don't
might
have
be
one, we can
true.
move on until you can think of something.
No, I feel like when it comes down to like if there were going to be like a traitor amongst the party sort of thing, I think everyone would be very easy to be like, oh, it'd be Theo. Yeah, it'd be Theo and stuff. I genuinely don't think it would be though, because
No.
Theo, the one thing Theo hasn't done is
Love you,
flip-flopped
Kiki.
between things. I feel like Theo is very strong on his like point of how he feels in that sense. He hasn't differed from that. Whereas I think like the one who would, it's either gonna be honestly, it's either gonna be Ash or Jezebel.
I think
Yeah.
the cool part
Yeah.
that I like that I was trying to work on is that everyone in the party has a reason to join the bad guys. Everyone in this
Yeah.
party has a reason to turn against the gods, which I think is really cool. Because yeah, as you guys know, my favorite villains are ones you can empathize with and possibly consider joining.
Yep.
The ones that I could fully see like going for it would be Jezebel and Ash, mostly because
Oh, I
like
100% agree. 100%.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like because I think like Jezebel would be such the wild card in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like
you just want to
I
go
honestly
ape
see
shit?
I just see madness as like a thing that could like very much like very easily affect. You know, like how like
because it's almost like a thing of like Jezebel wouldn't see her own madness as something irrational. She would see it as like logical and rational. It's like, well, actually, I think you're probably wrong for not seeing it this way. This is just what we should do, and now you're in my way.
wasn't there like a demigod, like was it Hercules, who ended up like going mad and like killing his kids and his wife and stuff,
Hercules
and like didn't
and
even
Jason, but no, it was just
Yeah.
Hercules.
Well,
sorry.
no, Medea did Jason.
Medea did Jason, and sorry,
Yeah.
that was Hercules.
So like Hercules, and like that's something where I'm like, yeah, like Hercules wasn't a bad person, but in that moment he was so like convinced, like no, this is this, I have to do this. As such that like I was like, oh yeah, that'd absolutely be Jezebel. And Ash, because honestly, like I think Ash would be so easily influenced by wanting to be a good sibling and wanting to see the good. That's where I'm
Okay.
like interpreting Ash. I don't
Okay.
interpret Ash as someone who would want to turn against everyone, because Ash has been but like constantly like, I want to end confrontations, I want to end this, I want to make sure everyone gets along and that sort of thing. But the one place where Ash like falters is the fact that they want to offer that to their sibling too. And I feel like that's going to be like the hugest weak point there in like their conviction and willpower.
Interesting.
I think it's the classic
Interesting
thing of like the archetype which I've loved, which I've seen played out, is the paladin of redemption meeting the betrayer character and just needing them so badly to give them another chance to the point that it kills them. It's so spicy. Anyways, I was gonna say the one like the opposite side of that with Jezebel is I definitely have always seen her as like the Scanlan of the party. I imagine that like one day where everyone kind of keeps thinking of her as this like wild card who is kind of there, but and then in the end, like the idea of Jezebel cracking and being like, I've been here with you guys, like I've done everything you guys have done, I'm doing good, can you not see that? Like I've helped you at every turn, I've saved your lives countless times, like why do you still think I'm this immature wild card who doesn't care about you? I do. I've shown you every day.
Yeah. Ash has been trying to avoid that.
Yeah, or even just the thing of like, oh, you're dangerous. And it's like, all my pranks are literally harmless. It's that I like confusion, not madness.
If you want me to go ape shit, I
want me to
will,
go
and
mad?
it'll be
You
bad.
want me to be the bad guy? Fine.
Yeah.
You want me to be mad? I'm fucking pissed.
Wait, I have a question for Maddie. If Jezebel is a Scanlan, who does everyone else fit?
I think we literally did this like one time when you weren't here. So I think it was.
Wait, what? I missed
Kiki?
it?
Mila is Keyleth.
Yeah. I think we said Theo was Vax, because
Really?
Vax is the most
Is it the rogue thing?
no, yeah, but it is also the idea that like Vax does everything without thinking and is very like instinctual to kind of his like deficit in a way, and is very like emotionally charged. I think we said Monique was Pike. Maybe
Pike.
No, wait, I'm trying to remember. No, I don't think that's true. No, we said
No,
Ash was
I think-
maybe Ash was Pike.
Ash is Pike. Yeah, I think Ash is Pike.
Ash was
yeah.
Pike.
Ash is the little guy trying to.
No, sorry, Monique
make
is
sure-
Vex. Sorry, how could I think
Yeah.
differently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monique is Vex.
Interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of being the like pseudo leader of the party, but also having daddy issues and not taking shit from anyone
Yeah.
and being
That
is
emotionally
true,
charged in
yeah.
a different way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And also the idea of you and Theo being two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
And is that everyone?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
everyone.
Who cares about Grog?
And then you are Matthew Mercer.
Percy.
That's me. And Percy. There's too many members.
Yeah.
Well, like Tessa's Percy.
Mm.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can I have a hot take about Critical Role? This
Yeah.
is so random. This is so
Yeah.
Go
Because
for it.
I didn't get into Critical Role until what's his name, Joe Manganiello came on.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then I watched the animated show, and I was like, I feel like we could cut some of these characters. It's a big party.
It is a big party. It's a very big party.
It is a big. Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
big group.
Like if I was a writer, I would cut some characters.
Mm.
And probably
What's
few-
crazy is from the beginning parts of it, there is a cut character.
Yeah.
There is.
There is. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
player who
Oh, yeah.
cannot be named.
Yeah, because I was gonna
Uh-huh.
say, I think that's one of like the main things that I personally am like so impressed by Matt Mercer is the fact that he's able to create full arcs for 7 player characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
insane to me. Anyways, how are you doing, Faye? Time wise?
I'm doing all right. Friend said that they're good, so I don't need to hop off immediately. But I think I will still hop off in a little bit, just so I have some breather before I go
Oh,
into
good.
another D&D session.
I
Very
quickly
well.
scanned through, and I think I got through all of the Jezebel specific ones.
Slay.
Aw.
Let's do a fun one, and then I'll probably
Okay.
bounce.
Hottest godly parent.
Fuck.
Oh,
That we've seen?
listen,
Any.
I'm biased, but Dionysus.
Dionysus was hot. I mean,
Maybe I just like him crazy.
Okay. Are we doing this by your description of them or like anything else?
I would say like my description is like the canon, but if you've yet to see a description, it's what's in your heart.
I mean, like, I feel like I have to say Aphrodite.
Yeah.
feel
Between
like I got
Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite.
Someone did that in the
100%.
first question. I was like,
If
who do
someone
you
did
think
it in
is
the first
fairest?
one, and I was just straight up like Aphrodite. Straight up, Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Ash's mom is pretty hot. Have you seen Ash's mom?
Beaky
Okay,
age.
but for real though, Hephaestus, I'm like, I
Yeah,
inherited
Yeah.
those
He was
genes.
he was a
Yeah.
You, Ree as a player was like, prosthetics.
And also he was just like a strong like dad belly dilf.
Yeah,
Damn.
honestly, my mouth just watered.
I was in my brain.
What?
In my
God.
brain, if I had to cast him, I would say that it would be like like the closest I could get would probably be like, I feel like Josh Brolin if we worked on him a little bit, we'd have to play with it, but I feel like he's the base. Maybe.
Interesting. Okay.
If he grew out his hair and got like a bit of a beard going.
Oh.
Have you seen Dune
Please.
Part 2? I think that's.
Yeah,
what
no,
you're going
Dune
for.
Part 2
Mm.
is probably where it's at. But a little bit less defined, a bit stronger.
Delicious. Please.
Anyone else?
Let some of these Hollywood actors let go. Let them eat cake. Let them eat food, please. I just
Mm.
I need some bellies
Who do
desperately.
I'm trying to think of like who
Reed,
I have
what is
made
going
others.
on?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I just started thinking about like DILF bodies, and I was like Pedro Pascal with the DILF body.
I think
Reed!
for me and what I know is like I have some of them designed in my head. Listen, I am a sucker for a pretty man. I love pretty men. They make me feel butterflies in my tummy. I think it would be a tie between Dionysus and probably Morpheus. I've made Morpheus very hard. You guys might meet him, but I love Morpheus.
Oh.
Morpheus I based off of people
Will we
cosplaying
sleep with
Satan
him?
from Devilman Crybaby. So yeah.
Sake.
If you've ever seen a
God fucking damn it.
It's right there.
I respect it personally. But yeah, if
Thank
you've ever
you.
seen any of those really aesthetic cosplays of Satan from Devilman Crybaby, that's what I based Morpheus's design off of.
Oh god.
Almost really wish I had that goth Aphrodite kid, because they would have just been birds of a feather.
Love. Justin?
What?
Did you answer?
Who I think
Yeah, hottest girly friend.
Ash's mom.
Period.
Yeah.
Nemesis.
Has got it going
None of
on.
you have
Look,
seen her design yet. I think only.
it's
Listen, if
different
it's
than the
if
one
it's
that's in-
not
It's
the design from
similar.
Hades 2, I don't want it.
It's similar, but there's like a couple of like elements that are different for like
You know,
Right.
I think we gotta adjust something, because I don't think Nemesis is beekeeping age. I don't think Nemesis keeps bees. She keeps wasps. Let's be real.
Oh, I know. I hate that. No, I hate that.
She's wasp keeping age.
No, I hate wasps. Wasps are the worst. God.
But yeah,
Deathly
if it's the
afraid.
same or similar to whatever you showed me from Hades 2, love them.
similar.
Karlach is my favorite in Baldur's Gate for a reason.
I'm not even fucking
You're-
surprised.
What? Are you serious? What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean?
Listen. I think Karlach's hot. I've cosplayed Karlach.
I
She's
love Karlach.
great.
You have.
I have. And
Great.
this happened.
A
October.
little
I'll
while ago.
DM it to you. I'll DM it to you. That happened a little while ago. But yeah, like that. I just feel like Justin like saw like a tall lady with like a cute smile and like big horns and went,
Oh, mama.
"Are these?"
Oh lord.
No, it's not like
Oh,
that.
mama.
It's not like I want to be
It
carried by
is.
Karlach.
It is like that.
Like, for me, it isn't. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just like, it's the thing. It's like I love seeing hard work. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. You know, I'm with you. I'm with
She's a
you.
hard
You ever
worker.
meet someone who's extremely good at their job?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
If it's like, and
Competence.
if Karlach's in my
No,
party, it's
not capability.
very good at killing and very good at like,
Competence.
Competence is sexy.
yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, competence
Also-
is sexy. Oh my god, Justin, you're really onto that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Also,
It's the one that's
when you tell her that you love her and she goes, "I love you too." Oh my god! I was like,
Literally my favorite. Literally my favorite thing. I love her so much.
what is everyone's
great.
BG3 main love of this? I'm a very embarrassed Gale
I
lover.
fucked up. It should have been
Oh,
Karlach. but it
how
ended up
could
being
you?
Shadowheart,
I'm sorry. I'm
and I regret it
sorry.
every single day.
Man.
Okay, so like, I'm.
I feel he's just such a yapper and he means so much to me.
You just like it when he Gale explains
Ooh.
to you.
Oh, Gale.
I love
Gale's
him.
boring.
I
to me.
know, but I love him.
I'm like, it's so hard though, cause like I'm just like I romanced pretty much everyone in my first playthrough. I got the Lae'zel scene because I think Lae'zel is like my number one girlie. I just love
Fucking
I
love
love
her.
that I
Yeah?
can be
Basil.
I love that we can banter.
Oh, you just like
and
you just like
stuff
someone
like-
being mean to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Oh, yeah.
clear I have to make that.
So your
It's my
faves,
love
your
language.
faves are Lae'zel and Shadowheart.
No, Shadowheart really annoyed me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was like
takes-
a big
apparently-
anti-Shadowheart girly
Apparently,
from
it
the start.
takes romancing her to like her. I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't
I
romanced
want
it
to
yet.
romance her now. Like, I feel like I want to spend the time, like, because I got to the end of the game and we ended up like really like best friends and stuff. And I was like, oh, actually, yeah, like I love your growth. I love you.
Mhm.
Like, that's so. I'm happy to romance you now. But like at the start of the game, I was just like, you're annoying me. I don't like it. We're in a
Yeah.
difficult situation. Stop keeping secrets and being judgy,
Yeah.
please.
If you go on that immediately, and you're like, all right, you're gonna be that way, fine. At
Fine.
that point, then you hate each other for the rest of the game, and it's like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you push past that and push through it, it's like, yeah, it is. Once you start romancing it and she starts opening up a bit more, it's like, oh, okay. But you have to get to that point, and if you're like, if she says something to you and you're like, don't want any of that, you just walk away from it, yeah, 100%.
Will was
Yeah.
sweet though. Will was
Will?
really sweet.
Will? I stand by Will.
I was so
stand by Will.
sad breaking up with him. Breaking up with him
Beautiful.
hurt my heart.
How could you? You're
Well,
a
because
monster.
I had to romance everyone. I know
You're a
I got
monster.
the Lae'zel scene, and then the next morning I broke up with Lae'zel, and then the next camp scene
That's
I
fucked
got
up.
Will, and then
Major
I broke up with
rounds.
Will the next morning.
How
and then
could
Wow.
you?
the next night I got Gale, and then I broke up with Gale the next morning, so that way I could end up with my boy.
That's
My-
got
my
you,
Really?
monster. How could you?
Oh my
It blinks.
god.
Oh god.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I
What
will
about
listen.
you, Faye? Are you a player of the Boulder Gate?
I have played Baldur's Gate, but the problem is that I still have not finished my first playthrough. I have a joint playthrough I have with a friend, but we haven't played that in a while. And I have a Dirge playthrough that I haven't gotten very far in.
Mm,
But my main playthrough that I've gotten to Act 3, and I've managed, and I started it, and I went into it with the attitude of like, I've heard Astarion is hard to romance. I need to prove a point.
Mm.
And so I romanced Astarion, but then I also romanced Halcyon, and I really like
I
Halcyon.
Yeah,
Love
I had the little
Halcyon.
trio at the end.
I-
It's so
I-
good.
I want my
Mhm.
boyfriends to be boyfriends, and I want to take them out to boyfriend dates.
But I also I do really like Shadowheart, but it's the thing of like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I want to romance you or just go out for a drink or just hug maybe.
hmm
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bye,
And now-
Faye.
I disappear.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Faye.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Do our characters map on the Baldur's Gate characters?
Oh no! Oh my
Ooh.
god, do they? Who's who?
I don't know if
Tessa
it
would be
does.
Shadowheart because she's
Oh,
the most
yeah.
Shadowheart
Yeah.
person ever.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like there might be some double ups.
Um,
It's kind of
It's
harder. It's
I think
harder with both.
including Manika's Jahira.
oh my god,
Yeah,
yes!
100%.
Holy
yeah,
shit!
absolutely. That was, you know what?
Yes.
That's so on the money.
That's so
Absolutely right.
right.
But would Monique leave her kids like Jahira did?
But just
I mean,
in the way that
because she knows that they're
vibes.
capable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jahira has
I
her
feel like-
faults, but I still love her.
The closest one I think for Ash might be Karlak, which is weird, but like I feel like with more the personality.
yeah, the
Will.
like positivity and utter
Mhm.
like
I was actually
and almost like
with-
childlike wonderment in a way, like
Yeah.
that kind of side of Karlak. I'm like, that makes sense.
Ash's
Like,
will.
being like,
I
you think
was
so?
about to say-
Ash's
I-
will. That's such a
Will.
good shout.
Ash's
actually.
will?
the loyalty to
1000%.
family.
Yeah.
Like the.
Oh,
And he does have a slight
Maybe.
naivety, I will say,
Mhm.
because he kind of did
Maybe.
have his like childhood robbed from him in a way.
hmm.
But the way that he is like so for like righteousness to the point of like that he kind of doesn't understand the grey is that kind of is his naivety.
fair.
I don't think Ash has the same naivety, but they both have that aspect, I think. Oh yeah, no, that's such a
Potentially,
good
yeah.
shout. Theo. I mean,
Definitely.
Astarion's probably the closest.
Yeah.
I was gonna
yeah.
But
I was
mm,
actually
Is it
gonna
just
say
is it just the
Karlak.
rogue thing? I don't
No.
think it is.
No, no.
because I'm
it's
trying to
not.
think of like he's the one that like causes problems and like quips a lot and hates
That-
authority.
the quips and stuff. 100%. Like I do relate to Theo, but like I was actually just gonna say Karlak because I feel like Karlak
Yeah.
is like the most like furious and like buries it under humor, buries it under things,
Yeah,
but the
but
most
she's
furious about
also
the hand she's been dealt.
yeah. She's
Mm.
also very much like emotionally driven as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would have said Gale. Because he yaps a lot.
Yeah, but he doesn't. You know what he doesn't do? He doesn't mansplain.
Theo does not mansplain.
This is
No,
true.
he's not.
I love Gale so much. Playing a sorcerer on my first playthrough and romancing Gale, I was like, I'd beat the shit out of you. I'm
Yeah.
about to whoop your little
I'm
schoolboy
currently
ass."
doing
love
exactly
it.
that.
What the fuck?
I
That bad, huh?
just-
Romancing
I
Gale
think it's
as a
because
sorcerer.
all of my toxic traits are in him. Also, hear me out. He has property, a job, and a cat, and can
mean,
cook.
Literally.
I mean,
He has
what
credit.
more
He has
could
good
you want?
credit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He also
And
has
I
a
did
want
bomb
to
in
in
his
Waterdeep.
chest.
Waterdeep is lit.
I ended the game, and because I broke up with him after like we like had Kama Sutra astral C-sex.
I didn't do that. I was like, no, you're
I
gonna be
could-
here, motherfucker.
Oh my god, are you kidding? It was the most insane shit. I was like,
No.
absolutely hell yes. Give me an astral, give me an otherworld experience. God. You know, I've had sex on the material plane before, let's go someone else. But yeah, no, he then became a god, even though I like succeeded in all the persuasion checks to make him not. At the end,
Yeah.
he was still just like, you know, whenever you change your mind, I'd still take you as like my number one and stuff, but for now,
Yeah.
you'll just have to wait and stuff. And I'm like, oh, is he still gonna be a god? Bro, he rocked up to the camp after party and stuff, and he was like, well, you know, you and I have forever to catch up. And I'm like, is he still trying? I mean, okay. But like
I think Mila, I think, is either Howson or she kind of gives me like like the very much hidden aspect of Lae'zel's personality, where she is like so unbelievably trusting and like committed, and also just
Loyal,
has
yeah.
so much hope for like something that hates her. Is very
I was
Lae'zel
just
to me.
gonna I was gonna say Isabel. I know she's not like
Oh yeah.
but like Mila gives me mad Isabel vibes.
Oh, you know what?
What about
That
Jezebel?
works.
Jez
Jezebel.
Volo.
honestly,
I'm kidding.
Volo, no, that's so fucked up. No.
I hate Volo. He just took out my eye in the Dark Urge.
Yeah, he
Like,
sucks.
I'm really upset about it.
You get True Sight, though.
You get True
Jezebel, I
Sight.
think, is a story.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like the most like chaos driven girly.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's like it gives me like mad Astarian vibes, like with the whole like responses, like the sarcasm and stuff. I'm like, yeah, 100% that's Jezebel.
Oh yeah, and also a hatred of authority figures. Goes around, comes around, baby.
Who, Justin? Who would you have said that Theo was most like? Because I know I was like Karlak, but
I would have said for like I think when I play with Gale, he's very quippy and very
Oh,
like,
he is.
wait,
That's
what did you
true.
just say? You
He's
know,
quick.
so I would have said Gale if we're picking like all the characters, but I think I don't know. Maybe it's hard to see outside myself sometimes too.
yeah, you know, it's like you know when you're playing games and stuff like football and stuff, like you have a referee on the outside because they can see the whole pitch.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't think I think we'll see how the next session goes. But I feel like Theo has like he's at the brink of a big reveal.
I
But
feel
we'll
like
see.
I don't know if
Oh,
I
we
don't
didn't
know if
see the
Theo
episode. Oh no,
Theo doesn't give me the like sheer amount of like ambition and hubris that Gale gives me. He gives me
Yeah, the
sort
ego.
more like the goal oriented side that Karlak gives me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, we move on.
I don't know, like I feel like him yelling at Hermes just gave me huge like Karlak like screaming about how
You know
she was
what?
just
Yeah.
upset like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good scene too. Oh, that
Mm.
scene's in the
Good scene.
game too.
Samantha
Oh.
Burt.
Oh my
So
god,
good.
that scene makes me
They are so
sob.
wonderful.
Because I remember watching your video on it, Justin, and crying
Playing
again.
Baldur's Gate for the first time. What a
Oh,
fucking trip. Ah.
fuck me. Anyways,
Mm,
um, what's everyone's favorite common or uncommon homebrew rule?
Ooh.
Um, I straight up love like my big thing. I will often try and argue with DMs a little bit on how they handle crits and crit hits.
mm,
Um, my big thing, and I think I remember talking to you, B, about this when we first played together, and I was asking because I was building my assassin gunslinger, and I was like, "How do you do crit rolls?" Because this is something I want to know. Because the
mhm.
way I play them is your first roll, so you take all of your first set of dice that you would roll normally, and you put them at their highest roll. So
Yeah,
you
you
take the max die,
max
max out
damage
all of
for all
those,
the dice you would
max
have for
damage
the
all the
first
die,
step.
and then you roll again.
Hmm.
Because that way it makes crits feel special. Because how many times have you rolled a crit and rolled two ones on
Yeah,
the die?
exactly.
It does, you're like, oh, okay, my better roll, like my random roll, like just felt really good. One of the
Hmm.
other things that I do, because I've taken this up from my DM Griffin, I have a crit hit chart and I have a fumble chart, which is from 3.5.
Oh,
So when
yeah.
you land a crit, you roll a d100, see what happens. You could disarm people. Last the session before last, I accidentally beheaded someone with my shield by accident. It it was just a crit hit, but it automatically did that. And then we've had like another one. We rolled like a nat one on the fumble chart. Like, so you roll a nat one and then you have to fumble. So we get hit by them, the enemies get hit by them, so they can be like really like make or break and completely change the whole arc of like an episode and stuff. Like those are really really fun to play with. So
Hmm.
those are my favorite like I think the crit one is quite common, like it's coming up more commonly, and the fumble chart is my least as like the uncommon one, but I love combining those.
Ooh, very cool. I think, I don't know if it's common or uncommon. I really like the way that we do initiative. Sorry, inspiration. I
Mm,
It's because I've played with it for a very long time, which is why I wanted to implement it. But it's really helpful, especially with the DMing style of my DM and also the way I DM, where it's very much the like, I'm not gonna pull punches, but and if you guys still kind of, it's also, it just helps you get out of situations where you don't pull punches and everything's bad and you're like, well, at least they have the points and it's maybe gonna be okay. But also
yeah.
the ability to reward players involving themselves more in the game and coming up with theories and wanting to communicate those with the DM, because I think players, when they come up with theories or plans, should tell the DM. I would never like punish
Mm,
you by making sure that it's not going to happen now that you've told me. If anything, it's more that I can help you make sure that that happens because I think it's a cool
yeah.
idea, or plan for it or whatever. And it just, I like the rewarding players for thinking outside of the box and for taking notes and for paying attention. I think is really cute. And also being able to give, we haven't had it yet, but you haven't lived until someone is like, someone's over them having melee struck them. They're on 2 death saves and are saving for something, and everyone being like, I give you a point of inspiration. I give you another one. And the pure adrenaline is insane. I'm keen for it.
Mm,
Anyone else?
exciting. My favorite home rule comes to healing potions, which is because taking healing potions in action, I think that's a little silly. Uh, Having it be a bonus action to do it to yourself, an action to feed it to someone else, I think that's a great rule. There is also one that I've seen someone else use that I sometimes use depending, which is so it's that same thing. It's bonus action to yourself, action to someone else, or you can take an action to drink it yourself, but you get the full
Yeah,
benefit
we have
of,
that
the
rule.
healing. So if it's like if it's a like a 2d4 plus whatever like thing, you get the full. You don't have to roll.
Mhm.
It's like, cool, I'm taking my action to drink this potion. It's like, okay, you get 12 hit points back, like the maximum you could possibly get from the healing potion. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, because you're not just like swigging it back.
Yeah.
You're like actually
Because
drinking
there's
it. Yeah,
nothing
that's...
worse than spending 50 gold on a single regular healing potion and going,
get, like,
oh, I
3
really
hit
need this healing
points.
potion. Glug glug glug. Used my whole action. Oh, I got 3 hit points back.
Yeah.
Cool. The cleric can bonus action healing word me for more than that. So what's the point?
Also, I
Like-
believe in people can cast 2 spells if they're hasted, because I'm not a fucking coward.
That's not a thing?
No, you can't. In
That's
fact, rules
that's
is written,
stupid.
if you're like a fighter who has 2 attacks, if you're hasted, you make your 2 attacks, and your hasted action can only be 1 other attack. That's bullshit. You get to do your
That's
action twice.
silly. This is
That's
why
bullshit.
the rules are
Hate that.
guidelines, because some of the
Period.
rules are silly.
And like, I only do that when I DM, because I think when I'm a player I feel guilty, but when I'm a DM I'm like, do it. I'm not scared of you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
anyways.
God.
Yeah.
The idea of 2 spells in a turn, I'm like, the only reason I wouldn't allow that is because I feel like it takes away a lot of building from sorcerers and their quicken spells and stuff,
Oh,
and playing
yeah.
around with those. And that's the only
Give them
reason
3.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's more so
Oh.
that like
Haste
everything
a
balances in the
sorcerer.
end. Yeah, I'm
Quicken
saying
spell,
then you
spell,
haste the
spell.
sorcerer. Now they get 3
Yeah,
spells.
yeah. Give them 3.
You're missing the beautiful part of this.
Ree's brain is broken.
Anyways.
Ree's like, I have a new
Anyways.
build. I need to play actually.
Yeah,
A new build? No, I'm terrified.
I have so many of my favorite spell combos that are like laid on top of each other. I think my favorite is Power Word Stun into a Disintegrate. It's a great time.
I love it.
Anyways.
So good.
Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, Justin, you didn't answer. Did you have one?
I don't really have one.
Fair enough. Next question.
I'm a very really cool DM when I DM. So,
What is the most important thing for each of you when you're building a character? Playlists, mood boards, rolling stats. Mine is playlists. Playlists is how I build a character.
I mean, I always tell people, don't stat your roleplay your stats, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Because I ever met like a new player or a newish player that's like, it's okay if I have like an 8 in dex and I'm a monk. I'm just like a quirky little guy or something like that, And it's like, no, don't make that decision. You could roleplay quirkiness. Don't put that into your stats,
Oh,
Yeah.
who would ever do that?
Because like I said before, I love when people are good at their jobs. You know what I mean? You can be quirky and still be a good person at your job. You know what I mean?
Listen, the character that I'm thinking of is good at their job, as in they're good at the thing that they do. It's just not necessarily what you think they should be doing, considering the class that they're playing.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
I love
for the
when people
campaign.
do it the other way around though, where it's like, oh, I'm a monk, but my dex is 8. Give me a himbo wizard. Give me that 20 in
I've
intelligence, but
given you a
bro
himbo wizard.
does not have any common sense.
The character,
Just
the
please.
character that I'm
So
talking
good.
of is level 8 now. He has a 14 intelligence, 16 wisdom, and a 20 in charisma. So he just plays a charisma person, and that's how he's useful. And he's a buff wizard, so he buffs people. But yeah, mainly because it's a heavy roleplay campaign, so it just it makes sense with
think,
the
like,
vibes.
I'm a big fan of the why is your character here sort of thing. So I will always stat my character before I go, what build do I want to play before I decide what character I want to play.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big thing of like, okay, so your civilian NPCs have 5 hit points. You at level 1 have like double that, maybe triple that if you've rolled well, or dependent on your like where you're going, right? Why? why are you a different human? Why are you a different humanoid in that sense? Like, what makes you different and separate from these civilian NPCs? It's because you're good at something.
Mm.
It's because you are
Right.
skilled at something. So I always think of, like, when I'm building my character, I think of, like, right, okay, from civilian, when they were a normal person, what gave them the edge to jump forward, and what was it that pushed them forward? And then once I've discovered that, I then go, okay, well, that's where the build is going to come from. Like, that's where it's going to stat into. And then as soon as I've got that, I'm like then building a character, and I'm going through, like, if I'm starting on level 5, I'm going, right, well, how did they get to level 5? Where am I
Mm.
building from? Do they have blind fighting? Is that something they would have trained in? No, I'm not going to take it, even though I would love to have that stat. It doesn't make sense because they didn't train in that, but they did train in interception. They did train in using shields defensively. Let's take that shield master feat, and, like, I'll
Mhm.
work it into that, and I'll build the character backstory as I'm building the stats, and then the playlist and the Pinterest board come after I've played a game, because then I can feel out how I want to display this backstory and this stat block that I've created.
It's fair.
Like, I've got a paladin who I used to play in an old stream called Somewhere Bound and stuff. I've brought her back for a new campaign so I can get, like, closure on her and such, and it's
Is
been
this
very fun getting
Gwen?
back into her. She was This is Gwen.
I've been
You-
telling you that I
I
was a
forgot-
fan of you before you joined this campaign.
Who is this? I don't know who this is.
Stop.
It's okay, I'm just psycho.
Gwen was of my paladin, and I did a lot of, like, night content and stuff on TikTok with her. Paladin,
Yep.
she was a random role character because we were only meant to do a one shot, so I just random rolled
Classic.
because it was going to be.
Love Gwen.
So she had, like, absolute trash stats, and as soon as we continued into the campaign, I was like, please let me change these stats. This was not meant for more than one session. I have a terrible strength score. Please, 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 please.
Mhm.
And so we switched that around, but now that I've gone into a new campaign, I've rebuilt her and stuff, and really fine-tuned that. She has, like, terrible wisdom, but her charisma is really high. She's accidentally given her name to many a devil now at this point, just because she's being polite, and she's like, this is how I do this. She's
Yeah.
gotten into more trouble, but, like, winged her way out of it very much, and it's been very fun to play that. She's a paladin who's very strong, has fought in multiple battles and stuff, has a lot of prowess about her, but she's like, if we could solve this peacefully, I would actually be so overjoyed by that. But she has, like, terrible insight. She can't tell when people are lying to her. She just trusts and trusts and trusts and trusts. So that's,
Oh,
like, how I've played
no.
into that, which is really it's so fun, and it's such, like, a dynamic way of playing her, I think. But, like, that's something that, like, I think the stats help me really work out. So I'd really love, like, what Justin was saying, like, that's, like, being competent in that sense. Like, there has to be something. What's the one thing? And, like, that's why it ties in, like, with Maddie, like, your character, for example, there is that one thing he's actually good at.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just not being
there's
wizard.
that thing. It's just not quite that, but he has a thing he's good at. He's built up in this way, and then he's like, oh, well, I've got these skills, but I haven't really fine-tuned those. But that can then lead to an arc, where he starts learning and
It
stuff.
is 100% because of his backstory, and, like, is fully intertwined and makes a lot of sense. I was
And
gonna
I love
say,
that.
yeah, I definitely agree with what you were saying, and, like, on top of that, my favorite thing to do is, like, broadly make sense of, like, why they are the class that they are, but more than that, it's especially because obviously I play a lot of spellcasts, fucking love spellcasters, but it's being like, how is this wizard different from a sorcerer, or different from, like, a cleric? Like, what makes them why did they choose, or why are they a wizard and not the other thing? And, like, how are they different? Especially, for example, if there is a sorcerer in the party, how are they different from that, and how is their magic shown to be different? And also, like, working out how, like, I've played many a, like, optimized wizard of, like, being like, how do they perceive their magic compared to a sorcerer, which is the idea of it. Wizards are the easiest ones to work on this with, is they study it, they memorize it, it's something to logically understand. So when a sorcerer says, oh, it was something that I was born with, and as my confidence and my inner self and knowledge of myself grows, so does my magic, it grows with me, they cannot perceive to understand that at all. I want to see a wizard and a druid have a conversation about magic. It would just be the wizard being like, "What the fuck do you mean you vibe it out? But what? How do you make it make sense?" And they're like, "I don't know. It's just nature. It just goes with me as it goes." And they're just like,
The
"No."
mushrooms, man. The mushrooms
you-
talk to me.
The
How?
wizard and like the paladin, where the paladin's like, I don't know, man, I just feel it. Because like paladins just get their divine abilities from just having an oath, and they're like
just
righteous.
vibing
They're
with
like,
it so
how did you
intensely.
summon this thunderous smite? Like, how do you do that? Righteous
Just believes
fury.
real hard.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Like there's like paladins are so like starfire coded and how their power like
Yeah.
their spells come out. Like that's just how I view it there.
I love I love a wizard and sorcerer dynamic where it's just
Our wizard and
you just
sorcerer
got the
fell
wizard just like,
along.
I trained for years, my entire life
You
for this shit,
got
and you
firewood
little shit.
yesterday.
I was just born, you know, I was just hanging
Oh,
out. I
Yeah,
just went,
where are
"Oh, I
the-
can do this."
Where are those
Fuck
burnt
you.
out, gifted, and talented sorcerer kids at?
Yeah.
Where are they? And I think I like also then tying that into the character flaws and like having a extremely competent, optimized character, and then working out what makes them like what is the flaw when they're in combat. And my favorite one to do for wizards, which is the classic of like they are perfect at everything, but they have never been in a live combat setting ever. They've only ever done this in test scenarios. Like they know the spells, they know it all off by heart,
God.
but they've never done it in practice. That is my like freshly out of arcane school, way too much power, not enough pain or experience or lessons learned is my favorite way to play a wizard. It's just going in and being like, yeah, I can do all this stuff, but there's a goblin running at me. Holy shit. So fun. B?
Brilliant.
Huh.
What was the question?
Yeah, fuck, my brain just went. We were just having a great conversation.
How do you
What was-
build the characters?
What's the most
Oh,
important thing when you're building a character?
Honestly, vibes. Like truly,
Yeah.
truly, I am very much. I will like go to like if I'm trying to like make a new character, whatever. I will go to things like Pinterest and stuff like that. It's probably where I'll start. Like I'll either have an idea already, or I'm like, ooh, I want to play this subclass or this whatever. So like either I will start with like the class of like what I want to play, or I will go and I will find like a vibe,
definitely
like something
depends on
that
the
like speaks
campaign.
to me. Like yeah, it depends on the campaign, depends on the character I'm going for. 'Cause sometimes just I'll be like, oh, I really want to play an Echo Knight. Let's build around that. Like where did their Echo
Yeah.
come from? And stuff like
And
that.
whether
Or-
the DM is giving you
Yeah.
like with ours, it was you're playing a demigod, so that definitely
Yeah,
took
exactly. Yeah,
precedent.
exactly. Yeah, either I've got a base foundation to go off like that, where it's like, okay, so like this is what I'm doing, or it will be that thing like like I'll go to I'll go to Pinterest and I'll see like some art of like a just a half orc with a dagger. I'm like, half orc rogue. That would be cool. Okay, and then I'll just like go from there, and then I build off that, and then that's just like a jumping point. Like getting that initial inspiration, I get a lot of that from places like Pinterest.
Hmm.
And then from that, I will then like sometimes I won't even decide on the class until like near the end of building it. Like so, I definitely I can go from either end. Either I start with the class and then just build everything else from there, or I'm entirely like character first and like they'll have a class at some point, maybe. Who knows? I guess.
I remember
Um,
when I was when I was a beginner player, I would start with a bit, like a concept.
Mhm.
Like with Florian, it was I want to play a dumb wizard, but then I had another concept of I want to play a pink tiefling who says they're not pink, they're actually albino red, and then I put those together.
you telling me about that?
I'm not pink, I'm albino red. It's very different.
Uh-huh.
Because it's hilarious, and I was like those two together, and that's how I made the character. And then like with Sasha, it was I want to play a kid who's the son of the god of sex. That's hilarious. Like how do I make that work? And it was always that. Yeah, I will say we're getting close, so I might say maybe one more question. Let me look. We'll save these for next time. The ones that weren't answered.
Gotta dig deep for this last question, yo.
Oh, there was one that kept getting asked in chat.
Mm.
Of, do you guys have a name for the party yet?
I feel
Slash, you guys have to come. That's
did.
your homework. You have to come up with a
A
name for
name
the
we
for
like-
the
party.
party?
weren't we like the rejects or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I said.
it.
I was like,
yeah, that was
yeah,
it.
the rejects.
I know the rejects have gotten thrown out there somewhere. It's like, yeah, we're the
Um,
rejects.
I don't. Well, I don't know if this makes sense. I don't know. If you ask Theo, I would call ourselves the Black Sheep because of the ram that got taken.
Oh.
And I think it's thematically symbolic of
Yeah.
like our position in the camp.
You guys are
Yeah.
definitely the Black Sheep, for sure. That's kind of iconic. Someone play that song from fucking
Exactly, and the song.
Oh.
Go Home. Hello again. Okay, that was a quick
I
one.
think that's a good theme song for us too.
I love that song so much.
I'm
I'm
so
gonna go
good.
with the Black
I
Sheep.
mean, we could,
That's
we could
yeah,
like,
that's
because
fair.
isn't like the black sheep and the reject like the same sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same vibe.
So, just because like the black sheep, I don't see as like a name for like a group.
Hmm.
I see as like an
Sheeps.
individual name.
Mm.
Sheeps? Is it sheeps or is it sheep?
Sheps.
Sheep's
Shep?
sheep eye.
Or the
Sheep
Sheps.
eye.
Sheep eye?
Sheep.
The black sheep eye?
That's
Black
kind of
Sheeps.
funny.
The Rams is a whole football game.
The
team.
Rams.
The
Yo.
Rams.
The Rams.
Yo, that's actually sick. The Rams is cool.
You guys are all Europeans, so you're like the Rams. I was like, oh, the bad football team.
Love
We
it.
we don't know
Okay,
that.
we
but-
will, we will talk
Sorry,
about
we don't
this
go here.
final last
Yeah.
question, and I think this will tie in
Rams.
to next session. Do you
Okay.
guys have any sort of plan on how to deal with the Forge, or are you winging it?
Oh, I already said the plan in the session.
Mm.
That.
So,
Go ahead, B.
I will say this, just because it was something that Theo like mentioned when we were like planning it. It was just like, yeah, Ash, you can do what you did with the boat. Just fucking vibe it out. You know, you can do some stuff. I mechanically can't because we didn't technically long rest, so
Nope.
I didn't get my one
Ah.
channel divinity back.
Nope.
Oh,
But we as characters don't know that. So if Theo's like, Ash, do your thing, Ash, come on. I
I'll
can't.
try.
It's not working.
well, yeah. We might want to know. I think we need to reforge the bolt.
I don't think we can.
Oh.
We have a master blacksmith with
Mm.
us,
Master Craftsman.
And hope.
MC.
and friendship, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
they want to
If
call it.
I
Friendship.
had my
I mean,
channel divinity, I would help you.
What do we have to do
Yeah,
to reforge
listen.
the bolt? That's what Theo would say.
We need a key ingredient. An apology from Zeus.
Oh,
The world is
The
ending.
component.
Is that enough of an apology for you?
Key component. Hey, go get your fucking son, and then maybe we'll look at reforging your bolt for you.
Damn. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Who says we have to get
Monique,
it?
I appreciate the
to him.
sentiment, and truly, as someone who thinks justice and balance and everything, that sounds great. And honestly, I think that would work so well. However, this volcano was actively exploding.
One more, because I just realized that this question is very much like about last session and will be like kind of irrelevant.
Okay.
Most of you dealt with Scylla. Have your character's mentality changed, and has it like altered them at all moving forward?
After what? Sorry.
Scylla.
What? Oh yeah.
Scylla.
Oh,
That
Because
part.
we experienced our like greatest fear, right?
Yeah, but you and Mila had that experience completely removed from your memory, so really it wouldn't
Oh.
affect you at all because you didn't know what
Oh,
happened.
never mind. Never mind.
Monique
Who cares?
kind of remembers.
Yeah.
Ish.
But she's more like to her. She's just like, oh yeah, it just relates back to that time that I got flung in the ocean.
Really, if
And had
to
anything, it's
swim
going
to
to
shore.
affect Ash and Jezebel the most.
I was gonna say, as the one person who wasn't affected at all, I still feel like Ash is the person who was affected the most. Literally, like, hey, we're gonna put you in the middle of the ocean, no land anywhere near. Literally, like your worst fear. Hey, there's a monster. Literally, I want you to know,
Monster.
Monique, literally going to Monique and being like, Monique, what's wrong? And Monique being like, there's something in the water and it's gonna get us. Literally, Ash is just like, I hate it here. Like, yeah, and Ash remembers
Brilliant.
everything. So yeah, I think, yeah,
Not
no,
good.
definitely. Ash, put it this way: if
What's
after
the
we've done
this
this,
action will have
um,
consequences.
oh, truly, like, I want you to know, just for you guys, like, the thing. After that, like, obviously we took this as a shortcut, and Ash was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, saves us doing like 30 hours of driving, I guess. It's kind of important. I guess we'll take the boat. Now, if y'all are like, oh yeah, we gotta like sail to this place, if it's drivable, Ash will be like, no, not again. Nope. Mm-mm. Don't,
Mm-mm.
please don't do this to me. Please, I will cry. So yeah, definitely affected. Definitely
Amazing.
affected by this. Yeah,
Well,
100%.
thank you so much for joining us, everybody, for another one of our after show. I will note all the questions that we didn't ask for next time. We will see you guys on Thursday for session 7.
7. Oh yeah, it is
Yeah,
7. Yeah.
7.
Yeah, what could
You're
possibly
right.
go wrong?
Fun times,
It's so
portions.
much.
Be sure to donate to the Shabans. Be sure to check us out on Patreon. Join the Discord so you can ask Patreon. I never know how to spell it. Join the Discord server where you can ask questions. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Thank you, B and Ree and Justin and Faye for joining us. There are the cast links. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Au revoir, mes amis.